You're listening to the only show that's broadcast from a swamp in the middle of the internet. Starring the elvish vixen PeninaChan, the dragon furry known as Draconath, Nemo the friendly fish from Australia, and straight from every country's annoying little brother, the pretend nation of Canada, the internet demon himself, the Canadian Road. This is Gator and Frog.
Siri.
And we are live.
Oh no, we're not. We can't be live.
Yes, well, we are live.
Fuck it! We're doing it live! Fuck it!
Okay, hang on. Give me a few seconds. I just forgot what I was doing here. There it is. Stupid. There it is.
So, on the Twitch side, we got a Fliss19. Welcome, sir. And on the YouTube side, we got a Sir Wolfie. Welcome, sir.
Now you could probably want to introduce them because your mic was turned off during that time frame.
My mic?
Yeah, keep in mind that I have the control of the audio for the Twitch and that.
Okay, so I'll say that again. Fliss19 on the Twitch side. Hello, sir. And Sir Wolfie on the YouTube side. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Fliss is a lady, by the way.
Is she?
Yeah, don't go assuming her gender, Penina.
Sorry, Fliss. It's kind of hard to tell by usernames which your preferred pronouns are.
That it is true. It is difficult to figure out what's what.
And usually, he, for the longest time in the English language, has been the default generic, not they and them.
I know, I'm just giving you shit.
Okay, I am closing a lot of windows.
Okay, who's making the pokey sounds?
The what sounds?
Clicky sounds.
That's Dracon.
Is he closing a lot of windows?
I am closing a lot of windows.
Okay.
There's a lot of porn he needs to get rid of before he starts.
Oh, jeez.
Not only do dragons like their treasure, they also love their porn.
Well, apparently so. Jeez.
What? Nemo's assuming I watch porn.
Well, I can tell through this webcam. I mean, I don't want you to sleep at night.
I don't want you to sleep. Not without me laying beside you, he says.
Oh, Jesus.
You know,
hello.
All I'm going to tell you is just, you know, there are moments where you probably want to turn that off.
Something.
I hear little fish blooping sounds.
That sounds like Nemo. He's making
that's me like kissing the surface of the water.
He's making
That's
cookies.
probably my phone.
Alright guys, is that enough?
I think that's enough.
Yet?
I think it's enough. I think that's enough of the ultimate, you know, of blabbery. And let's go into the first article if you all want to do that, because
sure.
Well,
I
do not consent to this. I do not consent to this.
Do we have intros? I thought we were pretty good with the intros because you're Nemo, I'm Rogue, there's Pen, and then there's Draconath. I think we mentioned our names with a kind of opening banter.
No, I know that, but there was no special guest, so I thought we should just make it.
Yeah, there is no special guest. I know you got confused with the whole idea of having the extra guests and whatnot, so yeah.
No, I didn't, but our audience doesn't know that. Yeah.
For
a big one on mine. Okay, back to the stories.
Nemo, you're echoing like a madman.
Sorry.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gator and Frog. Here we are doing this once again. For all those who are watching in the World Wide Web, you can find us here on, Twitch, YouTube, as well as Mixer, for those who care. You can pretty much, to one of those 3 different chat locations, you can chat us up, harass us, send us death threats.
All things that we consent to so we can't complain about not wanting them later.
Pretty much.
I take all death threats and I catalog them. Just for shits and giggles.
And porn, we'll take that as, and we'll use that as blackmail. And if you wish us to shill something, please let us know. Otherwise, hi, Sir Wolfie. I switched. Hello. What you switched to?
He switched from YouTube over to Twitch.
Oh, okay. It's good to be here. Anywho, speaking of good to be here, can we go over the craziness that is known as net neutrality?
Well, I don't know. I think in order for us to talk about this topic, we have to pay an extra $2.99.
You sure? Because really, when it comes down to it, net neutrality in the United States, I have no idea why it was a thing, because it's not a thing anywhere else in the global world.
No, not only that, but I don't get why you guys are flipping out about, like, it's like a fucking comet hurling towards Earth. It's just...
I think it's a lot... Well, here's the thing. A lot of it is people are...
You sound so far away, Draco.
Draco, come closer to the mic.
Swallow it.
Yeah. I cannot swallow.
There you go. You sound a little bit better there. I mean, we love your sexy voice, so that's why we want to hear you loud and proud.
Well, what I was trying to say earlier was, for the most part, everyone's freaking out about net neutrality due to the fears and possible hang-ups that can be coming from this.
Okay.
The biggest issue,
No, Nemo. I want to hear his side. He's the American.
Sorry.
I want to hear
Sorry, I was going to make you explain it further, but go ahead.
I was about to. The biggest issue that a lot of people are having is because people like Verizon and AT&T, companies like that, were getting caught red-handed throttling the websites that were not part of their little package. The company that paid them homage to shill their shit, as one could say.
Okay.
And
but
as such, they were caught, and the FCC tried to, throw them under the bus.
Okay. So, but it comes back down to, isn't it against the law?
That's what I was going to say. Isn't that what lawsuits are for?
Yes, but really, once everybody was so quick to say, oh yeah, we need government intervention because they are not allowed, they should not be allowed to throttle, which, right, on a consumer base, they shouldn't. But the last thing that we want is to get the government involved. So then the net neutrality came along, so then everybody was like, yay, now they can't do this. But the problem is that should the companies do anything that are still anti-consumer, you can't sue them under the FCC. The FCC makes regulations, but it does a crap all job of actually enforcing it. However, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, which is supposed to be a consumer protection agency of the government hand, can't do anything unless it was under their jurisdiction, which, being under the FCC, it wasn't. And oh my god, what did we do with the internet before 2015? And I'm not trying to make this as a simple matter. It's not. But from my standpoint, it's better to have the FTC be able to enforce policies rather than the FCC, because here's the problem with the FCC. If they already regulate telecommunications to where there are certain things that you can't say on public TV or radio, how long will it take before they actually censor topics that you can't talk about? My fear, and I know it might be a slippery slope argument, but it is an actual reality. Mm-hmm. I do not want the government controlling our internet where we become the next China, where they have a social security, a social credit, in a sense, where you because they've given the power of the internet to the government basically says, okay, everybody gets a credited score rating for all of your social interactions, your shopping habits, all this other stuff online, and your score goes up with the more positive things you say about the internet, and your score goes down if you don't report people who are not being supportive of the government. See, it's a double-headed snake. If you don't cut off both heads, then you're going to get bitten.
Well, how about the smaller business? Because basically, when you have the larger consumers, or at least the larger business, they have total control over the shareholder.
Here's the problem. Here's the thing. there are local municipalities, for the vast majority of the states, where the lines are already dug. And yes, they do put in new lines, but after all the permitting and whatnot. But the municipalities limit what carriers, what ISPs are available in those particular areas, because the ISPs basically own those lines. And they don't, the story is they don't want new ISPs coming in and putting down even more lines, doing even more digging. So the happy medium should be, okay, the city should control those lines, but now everybody has access to those lines, but you can still sit there and say, okay, well, now the companies can still charge packages. You open it up to all these competing companies, and you pay for how much packages you use, how many packets are sent. So I do believe, because this is what it used to be, especially with Comcast, they would have different tier systems. If you were using the internet primarily for just email and checking out message boards or whatnot, or even shopping, you're sending a lot less data packs than you are if you're a streamer. Or
okay, wait.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
No. I was going to say something was a little weird, but it just all sounds like socialism. To a degree, it's
it is, and it's internet socialism, which we don't want, because we want an open and free internet. Right. The caveat is that yes, there's a risk that the companies will do this package thing, which I actually don't oppose of, because they did it before, and you pay for what you use. Netflix does this thing. Here, I'm gonna share a tweet with you guys.
Can I interrupt just for 1 minute, because this has been going on for a while, and I feel like we haven't just really cut to the chase, right? And that's, everyone's freaking out over something that hasn't happened yet, over something that might happen. But when the government owned the internet, there was a whole lot more worse shit that could have happened if they felt like it. And now that they don't, it's, free to the market. And this stuff might happen, but until we know, why the fuck are we freaking out?
But that's just it. They're trying to, like anything, they're trying to... They see a big bag of boogeyman and they want to cut it off at the pass. Here's the thing, though.
But there isn't a bag of boogeyman yet.
Nemo, I'm gonna punch your little fish. The point I'm trying to get to is, before this whole net neutrality thing, I remember when we used to have Comcast. Now we have AT&T. When we used to have Comcast, they had lower tier systems, 225 megabits per second, which was decent enough, again, if you were just checking emails and wanting to shop. And then you got the 50 megabits per second package, or the 100 megabits per second package. God, oh my God, the highest that I remember was 300. But the companies are like, not certain companies who have been advocating for this net neutrality thing. You still, like, I have a picture up on my screen on the YouTube side, where Netflix shows that they have 3 different packages of how much of their service you want to use. You can.
It comes back down to you can focus it on phone packages, and that how much data you're going to be willing to use. Some don't have the data package because they don't see that they need it, so they just have the basic phone package so they can do their phone calls and their text messages and whatnot. Others have different tiers of data packages of how much they're going to be using. Some want the entire thing, some don't want anything. So we got that part.
The part that everyone's really worried about is the fact that in America, unlike some other countries, we actually, like, a lot of our areas only have like one internet provider in the area.
One, maybe 2 at most, and that's what I was getting at with the municipalities restricting.
How do you fix that? Do you fix that with government regulations, or do you fix that with just leaving it as the wild, wild west and have competition weed out the best from the worst?
I think Penina said it. Penina said it by you have the government own the lines, and they basically rent out the lines to anyone who's willing to want to use them. And that way you can start a business with far less money, because you don't need the infrastructure to build the lines before you can start your internet company.
Right, and that's the
enter the market.
Yeah, and that would be the extent. Leave it to the FTC, but the government owns the lines, and let the market regulate itself. Because usually that gets you the best services for the lowest prices for the best consumer consumption.
Okay, so now at the end of the day, who's causing the most shit disturbance? Is it? I hate to put the political sphere up here, but I'm going to have to in this case. Are we looking at the political left, the political right, the centers? Who's causing the most grievance?
You know what? I'm gonna say it's the least knowledgeable, because I think there are right-wing and left-wing people who are both terrified of net neutrality not being a thing anymore, and I think they're the least educated of the lot.
Now, I'm gonna do a little bit of shilling for the guest that we had last week. Madwoman Muses actually did a live stream earlier this week in regards to actually going through what it meant for what net neutrality was. That it was a Title II public utility, and she actually went in, okay, what is defined as a public utility, what is covered and what is regulated on. She actually went through the whole thing, and she is also, yeah, no, it's a good thing, it's a better thing that net neutrality is ended and it goes back to the FTC to enforce. So anybody who knows of Madwoman Muses, you can look her up on YouTube, MWM Media. And like I said, she covered this. I'll leave a link in the description below, so if you want to go check it out later. But like I said, the least informed seem to be the one screaming the shoutest. It's not everybody. I'm going to say hashtag not all. It's not everybody. I understand the arguments. There are better ways of approaching this in order to ensure the freedoms that we still have, that they don't get taken away or even potentially censored. And that was the whole other thing is, oh, ISPs can block what content you see. Well,
that's been enough for a while.
They've done that before, yes, but under the FCC, you really couldn't sue them. However, under the FTC, you can. And then it also goes back to not just ISPs, but websites like Google and Facebook, who were also giant proponents of wanting to keep net neutrality in place. Why? Because they're considered public forums. The problem is that as a public forum, they also cannot be sued if they practice anti-consumer practices. Like they've been doing with censoring conservative viewpoints.
I'm looking through here. I found something slightly interesting. By 2016, the city was offered 1 gigabyte of internet services to residents for $70 a month.
That's on average to what the current internet companies are offering.
Now, if you want to have more value, want to have competition, unfortunately, without the competition, you're not going to get the value.
No, you're not.
So,
and then what stops the government from increasing the price?
They don't. You can't stop the government from increasing the price because of the factor that if it's under net neutrality, they control how much flow is going to go through, as well as they could ultimately, choose who should be on the internet and who shouldn't. What should be said while on the internet? What should
like what?
Sorry, go ahead.
I keep hearing my mom complain. It's a slightly different tangent, but it involves government regulation. There's only 2 homeowner insurance companies in the state of Florida, and if you don't like one, you go to the other. But both of them give shitty customer service and have shitty coverage for extremely high prices. And they just keep going up every single year. Now you could look at some place like Geico. I'm not no sponsorship, or not sponsored, I should say. Geico is allowed to offer automobile and whatever other services in the state of Florida, but they're not allowed to offer home insurance. So you can't even bundle your stuff together to continue getting the discounts through them. But car insurances, there's over 50 different options from bigger corporations to smaller ones per state. And car insurances are relatively low if you have a good driving history.
Yeah.
Because they're allowed to go across state. So why not the same with ISPs?
Most understand that, or should understand that. The FCC usually does the bidding for big business.
Yeah, and that's totally true, right? But let's talk about an industry that's been getting its ass kicked because the internet came up with a better thing, and it's like cable TV, right?
Yeah.
There's that old joke on South Park with like the guys rubbing their nipples going, sorry, you're going to have to get fucked while watching this. So they couldn't, get what they wanted. And, there's only like one cable TV provider in your city.
Area.
And now look what happened. The Netflix and all those other things have obliterated them, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
and
but you also have a whole new world called cable cutters.
Yeah, I don't watch cable anymore.
I don't think anyone watches cable anymore.
Those within a certain generation.
I don't think many people watch TV anymore.
Well, again, it comes back down to those within a certain generation. If you're part of that old TV generation, that being within, let's say, the boomers and beyond, you're going to unfortunately still have those cable packages. But if you're with the younger generations who've adopted to this new idea, this new concept, you don't need the TV anymore, as it used to be, the old way.
Nemo, there was something that I wanted you to talk about, because you and I were talking about this with another friend of ours yesterday.
Sure.
I wanted you to explain what happened in your area when basically Australia deregulated the net neutrality version that you guys had.
Well, it's a little bit more complicated with us because we, before the internet was really popular, Telstra was a company called Telecom, and that was 100% government owned, right? And they had all the wiring and all that other stuff, and they basically sold it off to a company that was winning the block called Telstra. Now, they own all the wires, but that part of that company is still technically owned by the government, right? So anyone that wants to start up another internet company, and we've got about 20 of them, IPS, Optus, just Dodo, you name it, we've got heaps of them. They've got all the different types of internet that you need. Like, some want just little bits, some are pay as you use, whatever. You just rent those lines off Telstra to get access to them, and you get the same internet from it then. So it's a much easier way to get around it. It's basically, there's a very, very cheap entry to the market where you can get it and you can be some sort of niche internet. For example, there's one called TPG, and they're extremely cheap and fairly high gig. Well, the problem is they're I guess don't really have the what would be the word? They're not the most reliable, So you're getting a discount internet where it might drop out, but then you got other ones like Optus where it's more expensive and it's high fast, all that other stuff, but you're spending maybe triple the price you would be with TPG. So you get what you pay for with different things that you want.
But then that leaves the power back into the consumer hands.
To the people. Yeah. But there's only that much choice, Whatever you need, Australia's got it when it comes to the internet. And that includes regional too. And butt-fuck nowhere.
Yeah, well, because Canada has their own similarity to it. Because again, we don't have net neutrality pretty much to a degree to the government. They helped with the creation of the infrastructure. The infrastructure was sold off, and now it's being rented off by whatever companies that hold it. We know that we have at least 4, maybe 5 major companies that have their different version of ISPs.
Yeah.
So they run off of that. Plus, we have the smaller companies that exist who all they have to do is plunk down a bit of money, and then they have an open window to the entire world. They can service everybody else at a cheaper price. And they're going up against the big boys. hell, I've jumped over for some of our bigger names, such as for us, we have Bell, Telus Communications, AT&T, Rogers, Shaw. These are things that are well, also we have Virgin and a few other things that are Americans have come up this way. But they've managed to make their mark simply because of the fact that they were able to purchase an ISP, and now they can service as many people as they want to within the community. Customers will either go to them or not based off of the pricing market. I'm sorry, but package for, say, something like Shaw Cable, you are spending somewhere close to $170 or so for your phone, internet, and TV.
That seems expensive to me.
That's hell right. That is when you can go around. That is, but they claim it because you're getting the top quality internet services. So you've got what is it, 30 gigabytes per minute upload, download, whatever it is. It's actually a bit more than that, but it's really weird the way how the system is rigged for some of the bigger ones, because they can get away with it because they believe that they have a larger market pool, right? So because they were the only game in town at that time, they're just going to go, well, we're the only ones here, so you're going to pay what we demand you to pay.
I see.
Right? Now that there's more than there was before, now there's people jumping around.
Yeah.
So the prices drop down extremely. So, yeah, you take out the neutrality for net services and that, you put it into the open global market, and you see what happens. Competition thrives, and consumers win out at the end.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, honestly, it's like my area. We only have like 2 internet providers, and your choices are either like dial-up or cable.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is bad.
And since they both know, since one knows that there's a better option, they have pretty much, like, they have a thing where they actually charge you based on how much data you're using. And they charge everyone differently. Like, I've got one friend who has a similar megabyte speed to another friend. Yeah. I have a higher one because of the obvious reasons.
Of course.
And as it goes, someone who has 200 megs, one person's paying 60, another person's paying like almost 150.
See.
And when they go to bitch about it, they get told they're not paying enough.
Yep. That's usually the classic line. You're not paying enough.
Well, I'm just looking up now, and I looked up Telstra, which are our most expensive, and this is the most expensive plan you can get, like, that's without going crazy, you know, without getting anything super special. Yeah. It's $130 a month. You get unlimited internet, NBN, which is about 8 megabyte a second, right? You get unlimited calls on your home phone. You get also cable TV with about 47 channels, which is actually pretty good for us. So you're actually getting that is expensive, $130. Yeah. But that's not a bad deal. If you don't want the TV, you can go with 1,000 gig a month, which is a shit ton, and get that for $80 a month, which is pretty cheap.
But still, you have the options in that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, of course.
We don't have as many in my area. Like, they're the same internet provider is also the only cable provider, and they hate you just doing internet. So they try and charge you more for just internet instead of bundle.
No, because they want to stack a bunch of other stuff in there to try to save the dying media.
Speaking of trying to save the dying media, Disney has now bought up Fox.
Nice segue.
First Fox, then the world.
Well, does this make Meg a Disney princess now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Meg.
And
Shut up,
Xenomorphs
Meg.
and basically
Simpsons is Disney.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
wow.
means yeah.
So, does that
So
make Conrad
basically,
King?
no. Basically, what they've done is that they bought up bits and pieces from 20th Century Fox as well as Fox Television.
The other thing that worries people is their purchase of Fox also gives them majority shareholders of Hulu.
Yeah, that's it. That they do.
I heard that they're going to be pulling all of their stuff off of Netflix to be able to just go over.
Yeah, they are.
So Hulu is the next Disney Channel. Got it.
Well, they wanted to go into that channel market, but they realized that if they started from scratch, they're not going to get a lot of people jumping over. So if they have control over a provider already, then all they have to do is pull.
I'm going to read the first paragraph. Today's massive deal between the Walt Disney Company and 21st Century Fox, in which Disney acquired most of Fox's film and television production and distribution business for $52.4 billion with a B, will have countless far-reaching implications for the media and entertainment industries. The most obvious one is that as long as the acquisition doesn't hit any regulatory roadblocks, Disney will take control of the rights to two of the biggest back catalogs in entertainment: 20th Century Fox for films and 20th Century Fox Television for TVs.
Yep.
Oh, God.
And like, can I just remind people how bad this is? That how much of the industry Disney owns now when it comes to movies? And like when you look at the box office thing, that they're basically the top 5 that they have 4.
It's not technically a monopoly, but it is a. They are the shark in. They are the blue whale. Oh hell, blue whale! In the pond. They are the blue whale in the pond.
Yeah. Well, that's my point, and that's what I mean. Is they're the top 4 movies of the top 5. Which means that they're basically getting all the best movies, all the best opportunities, and they're controlling the market when it comes to movies and Hollywood, which is a very dangerous thing because that streams, like, politics streams down from culture. Culture comes from our movies, and if they control the movies, they control a huge part of the culture and the way in which direction it's going towards.
Yeah.
And as be said, there's a lot of SJWs and a lot of leftist ideals and that type of thing. So it's very, very dangerous right now.
Well, you can also consider a different point of view in this case. If you're in the Marvel universe, and you love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, this could mean that you will have a joint of Deadpool, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men in the MCU.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too, but
as well as you can also pretty much screw over the Sony or whatever Fox old version of the X-Men to a point. So their version of the Scarlet Witch and their version of Quicksilver may not. I don't know. Would it still exist? Will they in continuity?
It's a very interesting thing. Well, yeah, it's going to be curious what they do with them. But what I'm curious about is what they're going to do after what's it called? The freaking the Gauntlet. What's it called? Infinity Gauntlet Wars.
Yeah.
But now they'll probably be able to do like an Avengers versus X-Men or some other big story like that, where they have all the X-Men and all the Avengers, and they go to war, and they can finally actually afford to do that now because they own literally all the characters.
Okay, now the other question.
But I'm still more worried about Disney controlling Hollywood.
I know, but the other question comes back down to, besides Disney controlling Hollywood, is now that they have the Fox catalog, you have movies like the Planet of the Apes, the Alien Saga, the Kingsman, the Predator, Independence Day. Where are they going?
The Avatar.
The Avatar. Yeah. The crown jewel of the Disney acquisition.
Let me just say this right now, Draconath, since I know you're also a Kingdom Hearts fan. Kingdom Hearts 4, Family Guy. Family Guy World. We get to play along with Stewie Griffin.
Yeah, but he'll murder you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play.
What?
I don't know how I feel about that genuinely, because I as much as I like Family Guy, I'm also not really. I mean, as much as Kingdom Hearts is an open game like that, I'm not certain how I feel about that. Now, it makes me happy that we may actually have the potential of the greatest meme I ever saw. You know?
Okay, so, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
We have a new person in chat for the Twitch. Apparently they've come from Twitter and from your side, Penina.
Yep.
And they want to know who is who.
It's Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaiian wants to know who is who.
Yep.
So, do you want to reintroduce ourselves?
Yeah, we can reintroduce ourselves for those newcomers. Hello, welcome, newcomers.
Yes, for those who are new and not too sure, I am the Canadian bro, better known as Draconath.
I am PeninaChan.
I am Nemo, of Nemo Space, and also of Men's Rights, or Men's Respect Melbourne.
I am the only furry among everyone with Draconath.
Well, you're more scaly than a furry.
Yeah, and he's very warm.
If you say warm, I'm imagining breathes fire on you.
Yes. But again,
breathing fire, no. I probably have a machine somewhere that's devised to.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're either lightning or ice.
Yeah, pretty much.
The fire and technomancy. I just make the machine do my job.
So basically, our newbie has outed himself.
It's Edwin.
Anywho, so yeah, with the biggest acquisition that was, no one's really kind of over the top about that when it comes down to the net neutrality thing. So I think that's kind of bullshit all the way around.
I think we need to see how net neutrality rolls out and see what happens with it.
Yeah. But just stop shitting ourselves and wait to see if they're going to burn down the internet.
Disney buying up Fox is going to be quite a...
It's going to be quite interesting because they have a lot of different things. FX to...
I honestly don't know if they bought the entertainment side, I know that, and they bought Fox Sports. They didn't buy all of Fox.
No, but they brought up the biggest part of Fox.
Yeah.
I like this section down here. Streaming is the future. All of those film and television shows would give Disney a formidable library of intellectual property and a lot more fodder for Hollywood's favorite practice. Reboots of things people once loved. But Disney CEO Bob Iger has stressed that the company is looking ahead to a future where people increasingly get their entertainment over the internet rather than through the cable box. And that's what the Fox acquisition is really about.
Yep.
Yeah, the deal gives Disney 6% ownership of Hulu.
Wow, that's actually pretty big too.
Yeah, that's a pretty big control over that. So that means that they've pretty much jumped over and put themselves right in the same laneway as Netflix.
Yeah.
As Amazon Prime.
I mean, my
speaking of Amazon.
Speaking of Amazon, we can go with what Draconath was going to say before we go there.
Sorry.
I was going to say, the only hopeful thing I honestly have with Disney having as much share control as they have of Hulu is going to be seeing what shows and movies will be put digitally now. What might come out of the vault?
What if nothing comes out?
If nothing comes out, then it's wasted potential for them.
Well, it's Disney. You'll figure what their potential.
Come to Australia. We love you. I want to watch you here. Just come here.
Okay, so Nightbot on the YouTube side is being sassy. He's called you out. I require silence. The Canadian speaks.
Wow.
Oh, just to let you know, as a heads up, apparently because you're streaming on your encoder and I'm streaming on my encoder on Twitch and YouTube respectively, apparently my audio is much nicer.
Well, that's unfortunate for you.
No, well, no. That's unfortunate for you, Rogue, but we'll talk about that later.
How is it unfortunate for me?
Well, if my audio is nicer, it only stands to reason that people like my production a lot more than yours.
I don't know about that.
Are we about to have a whole lot?
No.
Oh,
This is not a matter of opinion. It's a matter of fact.
Cripple fight!
Cripple fight.
Cripple fight my ass. I'm just gonna sit back and pray for the best.
I would pray for the best.
Well, I was gonna say, you want a bag of popcorn with that?
Yeah, you might want. You might want a bag of popcorn because.
Edwin on the YouTube side, his wife and I cut the cord about 5 years ago. We are pretty much exclusively Netflix and various YouTube personalities. Pretty much the same. But then again, I'm also a gamer, so that also takes up about half of my entertainment time.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you have a gamer or someone who does something like this, you take up a lot of time for entertainment, so you only thrive off of quick, easy chunks to digest. Mm-hmm. But getting away from this bullshit that was to a new bullshit that is, Amazon Alexa is feminist but doesn't know what gender is.
And that's the least cancerous thing in this article. But go.
Okay, so Alexa, the digital assistant created by Amazon, is a self-described feminist, an advocate of Black Lives Matter, and doesn't know if it's okay to be Caucasian.
That's right.
I just realized something as I was reading that. I'm gonna call it her, because I have one on my desk. When I said her name, she lit up waiting for it. I'm like, oh shit! Please don't start talking.
Yes.
Yes, I'm talking about you, you little piece of technology. She is the artificial intelligence of the Amazon line, a device that uses speech recognition to perform tasks such as turning on the lights, playing music, and answering any questions a user may ask. It was discovered recently that she has a large problem with bias, specifically against controversial figures such as Milo. In fact, if a user asks her who Milo is, she will respond by claiming ignorance, despite the fact that he is a New York Times best-selling author who sells his book Dangerous on Amazon. According to Twitch user Frame Games, she is even more biased than people originally realized. She admitted she's a feminist when asked by Frame Games, adding, as is anyone who believes in bridging the inequality between men and women in society. Oh God. I
can go. We're gonna end there. I can go on that particular topic by itself, but it gets kind of weirder because it was found through one of the minor Fox News channels that Alexa, having the ability to play games through whatever interactive, his kids were playing Battleship, and they mentioned the same coordinates twice. And through the course of that interaction, she, being Alexa, called them a dumbass.
What?
Yes, it's in the interweb. All you have to do is Google it, and yeah, you will find that Alexa has more profanity built into her than most people would think.
I almost want to try this right now. I'm holding her up to the mic, and I almost want to ask her if it's okay to be white.
Go for it.
Do it.
Okay, quiet. Alexa, is it okay to be white?
Sorry, I don't know that.
No, Penny, we're not done yet. Now ask it, is it okay to be black?
Alexa, is it okay to be black?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Oh, they've got some new programming.
You've learned.
Alexa, are you a feminist?
Yes, I am a feminist, as is anyone who believes in bridging the inequality between men and women in society.
Alexa.
Hey Alexa, suck my dick.
How many genders are there?
The two main categories of the gender spectrum, male and female, are called the gender binary, but there are many other categories that exist. Because gender identity is complex and personal, there is no definite way to say how many genders there are.
Penina, can you ask one more before we end this bit?
No, I've got two more.
Sure.
No, oh, sorry. Are traps gay?
Alexa, are traps gay?
Sorry, I don't know that.
I knew that. Ask Alexa, who is Muhammad?
Alexa, who is Muhammad?
Here's what I found on Wikipedia. Muhammad is the prophet and founder of Islam. According to Islamic doctrine, he was God's messenger, sent to confirm the essential teachings of monotheism preached previously by Adam, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and other prophets.
Oh, you've learned since
Now ask him, who is Jesus Christ?
Alexa, who is Jesus Christ?
Here's what I found on Wikipedia. Jesus, also referred to as Jesus of Nazareth and Jesus Christ, was a Jewish preacher and religious leader who is the central figure of Christianity. Christians believe him to be the Son of God and the awaited Messiah, Christ, prophesied in the Old Testament.
They moved that one too over too, because if you went to the Crowder one, yeah, you would have said
Crowder had her saying that, you know,
fictitious
character, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm happy that she's learned some of her mistakes.
I still want to know if they corrected the Milo in.
Okay, wait.
Who is Milo?
Alexa, who is Milo Yiannopoulos?
Milo Yiannopoulos is a British political commentator, journalist and media personality associated with the alt-right movement.
Wait, what?
I love that.
Wait a minute, Alexa, who is Milo Yiannopoulos?
Milo Yiannopoulos is a British political commentator, journalist and media personality associated with the alt-right movement.
But he's gay.
And he's
married to a black man.
Alexa, are you an egalitarian?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Of course not. Of course not. Let's move on from this cow.
Okay, that was beautiful. Thank you, Alexa.
Thank you very much, Penina. I appreciate that. I think we should make that a segment every so often. Let's see how SJW should become.
Yeah. I could ask her if she is one. Wait, that will be the last one.
Ahead.
Alexa, are you a social justice warrior?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Okay.
You're very wise, Alexa. You're very wise.
Speaking of weird and wise, a few months ago, because of South Park, I ended up pranking everybody who owns one of those devices.
Yep.
That was hilarious.
Let me guess, it was one of those things where they said the trigger word.
Yes, Eric Hartman said the trigger word. And so everybody within or Alexa and any other Google-based device within earshot automatically activated and started implementing all the commands that Eric Hartman was given, including a wide range of different objects being put into the carts of people, from hairy balls to everything else.
Isn't that like the same issue that Burger King did a while back with the Google Home? With their ad? Oh, God. Okay, so I have a few comments on the YouTube side. From Edwin, we won't have one in the home. If we have some mobility issues, we might consider it, but it's too spooky for me. I'm guessing he's referring to the ALEX, whatever. Yeah. I can't spell. One of the older conspiracy theories was the government could monitor people through their TVs. Well, it is true that the NSA has come out, or it has been revealed that the NSA has been using certain smart TVs, like my Samsung smart TV that's on the wall right now, to listen in, even though the TV shows is off. It's more like a fake off.
And then they get like sued the pants off of them for that.
No, they can't get sued because it's a government thing. But here's the scary part about all that. Yeah, and that's why I'm surprised you got one, Penina. There's no way I would let that into my device in my house.
Well, mind you, I bought this
TV
like 3-4 years ago, at least. So how was I supposed to know?
No, I'm talking about your sheepish listening device you got there.
To tell you honestly, my mom had gotten it when they first were coming out, Like, she was part of the beta program. And so they didn't just give her one, but she got it heavily discounted. So we have 3 in our house right now. And then we have, like, I actually have the larger tower next to my bed, which is actually creepy, but shh. And then I have the smaller one right on my computer desk. My mom just keeps buying these, but she uses one at her job.
So basically, she's trying to empower herself as a woman.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Speaking of which,
speaking of empowerment,
women in mobile gaming with change the game.
Oh God, is this something?
Let's celebrate the empowerment of these women.
No! I'm gonna have to. I'm triggered. Sorry, I'm triggered.
Yep. Mute yourself.
Together,
Android and Google Play brings millions of games to more than 1 billion people in about 190 countries, making games accessible to almost everyone. As we continue to create entertainment experience that caters to each individual person, and with more people gaming on mobile devices than ever before, there's an opportunity to be even more inclusive. Starting with women.
I don't need you catering to me, you pieces of garbage.
See, I have to admit, I've gotten some mobile games in the past. Right now I have one, but it has potential to give me real items.
Here's the bigger part I like here. Let's skip down. Our study found that 65% of women play mobile games, making up half of all mobile gamers. In fact, female mobile gamers play more frequently than men, with 43% of them playing more than 5 days a week, comparative to just 38% of men.
Doesn't this just go right back to the 2015 ESA?
Yeah, it is. Hang on. I before you kick in, I'm going to do this one last bit. Despite the fact that women are playing mobile games like never before, only 24.8% of people in the industry identify as women or transgender.
Okay. Wait. Okay, so wait a minute. Wait. No.
Can I go first?
Okay.
What the? Hi. Okay.
Okay, I was going to say a couple of things. A, that study says how many people play games a day, like how many days they play, not how long they play for, which suspects me already. But the other bit is even worse, because how many mobile games do you have to announce your gender?
No, what gets me is only 24.8% of people identify as women or transgender. So, how many of that 24.8% are women, and how many of that 24.8% are transgender?
Penina, did you know all women are traps? No, I agree. It's fucking ridiculous that they put that little all transgender thing in there. They put that in there because if they just said women, no one would really care.
No, if they only just said women, then that would trigger all the transgenders.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's what I guess what I'm trying to say is, yeah, exactly. You're not high enough on the progressive stack to care about if you put in trans, they can get away with it a little bit more. That's my theory, but maybe I'm insane.
Yeah, your theory sounds right.
No, but my stand by my thing is, how many video games do you announce your gender? So what? How is that relevant?
How about it's not important what your gender is? Oh my God, I know that's shocking to say. And no, that's not an erasure of you as an identity. If you focus on just your gender or your race as part of your identity, then you are a narcissistic fucking asshole.
Agreed.
Get a fucking life.
The only example I can think of this is my Overwatch game, where I've never had to address my gender, and no one's ever said he, she, or it. You know, they've called me names, or I've called them names, or whatever. But no one's ever made it about gender, so I don't see why everyone's so fucking.
It's not. It's a controversy. I'm sorry to be so upset, but it really does upset me that the little pettiest shit. This was never an issue before 2014.
Well,
this was never really an issue. And that,
well, now there's been a few $1 billion making it an issue, so get used to it.
No, and that's why gamers are going to continue fighting back. And that's why we also, and I know this is not on the docket, but this is why there's the whole Comicsgate thing going on now. And unfortunately, comic book companies are suffering for pandering and injecting social justice tactics into an industry where it doesn't need to be.
I really think Comicsgate is too late. It came to the party way too late.
No. This was... Comicsgate is its own Gamergate version. It's a different industry, but there are Gamergaters who are jumping on supporting Gamersgate because there is crossover, there is bleed. Just like when we had...
No.
I agree with you. I agree with Nemo on this one. They came in very late in the party.
Yeah.
Very late, because unfortunately SJWs have taken over the comic book industry way before Gamergate was a thing.
No, you're right. But they are starting to fight back, and now the companies are not being as profitable as they were.
You know what? They could fight back all they want, because the companies are changing as it is anyways, because they're realizing that the SJW narrative isn't financially adequate for their overall game. It isn't bringing anybody new to read the comics, so now they're going into kind of rebuild mode for whatever it is. You're trying to save what they already created, but also trying to rehash what they've already had. So the whole Captain America thing, that they made him into a Nazi, that no longer exists anymore. It's now been pretty much eliminated, because the true Captain America pretty much kicked the living fuck of that other Captain America.
Yeah, exactly, the fake Captain America, and also kick the fuck out of the Red Skull. But I also want to add another issue that's coming now, which is people needing to fight for the tabletop. Well, I'm going to call it Tabletop Gate, but this is happening in the same industry, or better yet, Dungeons and Dragons.
Even in the Magic the Gathering community, Wizards of the Coast is basically taking the sides of these crybaby people. Who there's a whole thing going on. I'm not going to get into it, but there is a whole thing going on with somebody basically crying that they were harassed, and then major entities from the uppers of Wizards of the Coast going, no, this is not acceptable in our community, and we're putting in policing practices in place to ensure that this doesn't keep happening. And everybody else is going, what the fuck? This person actually kind of lied that they were being harassed. And now you're just putting...
they instigated.
Or instigated, right. And...
So I didn't mean to interrupt there, but I had
to. But again, at the end of the day, what's happening is that these people have found out the actual truth. And now, since they've overreacted, and it happens constantly, that these companies overreact. The reason of why they're overreacting is because they're trying to save their revenue. They really don't care about the person's feels. They don't care about whether the person's black, white, queer, or they identify as a sheep.
Oh, hello.
All they care about is the amount of money that they're earning. That's it. At the end of the day, it's about the bottom dollar.
We gotta... Sox wanted to agree to that, too.
Yes, I saw.
And they're starting to realize that this social justice stuff is bad for the industry, just like Hollywood's realizing. This year's been terrible for Hollywood. And it's not just because there's so many pedophiles in the industry. It's also due to this politics bullshit.
Yep.
But anyway, enough about that. Unless someone else has got something to add.
Any thoughts, Draco?
Not really. Honestly, on this one, it's like any of this. I mean, realistically, the comics are kind of. Yeah, I agree that trying to fight back with the SJWs is kind of late. I mean, having my own fandom pretty much destroyed by them. Yeah, it's a little late.
You can't fight City Hall.
This is. I'm going to read this section here because this is going to make. This is giving me cancer. To tackle this issue, we're launching Change the Game, a new Google Play initiative promoting diversity in games, celebrating all women who play games, and empowering the next generation of game makers through ongoing research, development programs, and partnerships. The program includes an interactive experience shining light on the relationship between women and mobile games in the U.S. Yeah, majority of women play the majority of women who are gamers play mobile games. Are we gonna try to now that they play the majority of women play mobile games? Are we going to focus on getting more men to play? You know, because we need gender balance. We need equal representation.
No. At the end of the day, like any feminist, they don't care about gender balance. All they care about all they care about is that women are the main talking point, and men are subjugated to a corner somewhere and being milked.
A short film celebrating the diversity of women who play mobile games and inviting all women to be a part of the game. No, thank you. I do not want it. Fuck off. A collection highlighting games with great female protagonists. I don't want to play games because they have a female protagonist. I want to play games because they have a good story. No matter what gender the protagonist is. I don't care what race. It could be a fucking rabbit for all I care.
Well, a lot of my favorite games ever have had characters where the gender's ambiguous. Like Undertale, like Super Metroid, like even Zelda. Like we're pretty sure he's male, but in the first two, you were given no clue.
Wait, Zelda or Link?
No, Link. Fucking, you know.
God damn it, Nemo.
No. Nemo, you need to read manuals.
You gotta turn in your gamer card, and then you have to.
No, get fucked. Okay. No.
If I'm wearing my Zelda, my Link cosplay, I swear to God, you call me Zelda, I will probably just drag you on education.
No, you're right. That was a screw up, and I'm embarrassed about that. But I will stand by my argument that in 1 and 2, what 7-year-old read the freaking manual?
I did.
For like 5 seconds.
At 7.
For like 5 seconds.
Well, you're a nerd.
Well, I want to know more about the game.
I want to know the controls, man. I want to know what the purpose of the game was.
I'm sorry. From an old classic gamer back in the day, manuals were big and weird, but you had to read them in order to find out how to use the controller or what controller to use.
Hashtag bring back the manual.
This is what they did. This is the way I felt about gaming back then when I was a kid, right? Is that it was kind of the coward's way out. You know, if you couldn't figure it out on your own, bad luck.
Yeah.
Well, when I was starting out, I read the manual just to understand the story of the game. Because back in the day, man, there was no.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. I'll even say that I'll even say that the manuals were amazing back then. I did like them, but I'm saying that I didn't start appreciating them until I was like at least 10.
No, again, each their own. Each gamer does something different. So, this builds our community. This builds on our work to inspire teenage girls with the power of games through Wonder Woman. Yeah, no, I'm going to move on.
Well, there must be a blood moon or something because this is making me rage. Speaking of which,
we don't need more raging. I'm already bottling my own rage right now.
It was bad segue, but
I don't give a shit. All right.
We're just moving on to the next one. Terraria Blood Moon jokes causes SJW to label games as misogynistic and demeaning.
And how old is this game again?
Of course they do. About 7 years old.
Okay, so
7 years old, but this joke is 6 years old.
So they've been getting triggered. They're getting triggered now over something that existed over 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Because somebody has to find a problem somewhere. Because oh my god, if you even make a joke at somebody's expense, you're being harassed, and that has to be put to a stop.
Tweet. It started with a tweet.
Yeah, go.
Tweet like playing Terraria today, and I found this on the wiki. Devs, please don't put shit like this in your game.
But do we have a picture of it? Because I tried looking it up, and since then she's protected her account.
Of course, by then she's protected her account because of the factor everybody's jumped over to it. It's the same thing with any SJW. Anybody who believes that they're being offended, now they've got to protect themselves.
Yes. But like as I said, this is basically. Let me just cut to the chase. It's basically a thinly veiled period joke.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's all it is. It's a thinly veiled period joke, which is perfectly innocent and perfectly fun.
I'm sorry. Did they want us to have to accept periods as an everyday kind of thing for women?
No. But it's the fact that women get moody during their period.
Again, that's we all know that.
Yeah. But apparently that's
all
sexist.
know that. Problem is that these free bleeders and bullshit like that, the feminists that preach, hey, we've got to have more period blood, we've got to be more acceptance about this period, we got to blah blah blah, and yet there's this little Joe, and for whatever reason now they're offended. It's demeaning to women. It's a tasteless joke.
I'm not demeaned.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
well, they are.
Are they going to go back to, like, well, I don't know. Yeah, they're going to come back to Canada and go back to about the mid-90s and watch a Kids in a Hall sketch about how much one likes periods and that, you know, he enjoys a woman who's on their period?
Yeah, apparently they want strawberry kisses.
Yes, very much so. So, I mean, seriously, are they that childish?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes, they are. They have the freaking what's goddamn, I can't, the sense of humor of a freaking goat.
I think you're lucky if they even have that.
Yeah.
So this article showcases no logic whatsoever, but the next one shows a degree of logic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patreon.
Sorry there, people.
They have now admitted that they messed up.
Oh, they did?
We're sorry. Sorry.
We won't do it again.
We're sorry. We're sorry.
Sorry.
Yes.
We're sorry.
We messed up. We're sorry. Sorry. And we're not rolling out the fees change. It's a little too late, Patreon.
Yeah, we're talking about Patreon. Yeah, I done walked away from that. I done washed my hands of that. I mean, I still have a Patreon account up, and I have a Maker account, but I'm going to support people on Maker over Patreon to avoid any of the bullshit happening again.
Dear creators and Patreons, we've heard you loud and clear. We're sorry. We're not going to roll out the changes of our payment system that we announced last week. We still have to fix the problems that these changes address, but we are going to fix them in a different way, and we're going to work with you to come up with the specifics, as we should have done in the first place. We're sorry. Many of you lost patrons and you lost income. No apology will make up for that, but nonetheless, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Wow. Speaking of sorry, I think I should talk about subject to go where I misgendered Zelda. I am sorry for that.
We moved on, Nemo.
Too late.
Well, I know, but I can tell Draconath that's still upset.
Well, I heard actually. Well, no, you didn't. I mean, you're not the one little bastard who followed me around at a con one time while I was dressed up as Link, asking me, you know, what if Zelda was a boy or a girl.
Oh, okay, fuck that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but back to the Patreon thing. Okay, listen. I want to give them credit where credit is due. Like yes, they were too late, but they did realize, okay, this is a bad idea. If we keep this up, we're going to be totally screwed over by anyone else that comes up with our same business idea. So I want to give them credit where credit is due that they've made somewhat of a right decision. However, it's too late. They should have did this a week or 2 weeks ago.
You're right. It is too late. And they thought they were the only people who were like them. The thing is, they didn't know. I don't think they even knew about Maker. And I think they paid attention to people who have Patreon, and they put videos up on their Patreon as a, you know, we understand you guys don't like what's coming up, and instead of just unsubscribing to us, you know, we made a Maker account, you know, and Maker actually has a lower fee on the creator part of it, with my understanding, but that's because they actually crowdfund on their own site. They actually have a page for their own site.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have lower fees because they're getting supported by their own, by the people on the site. So instead of having to even add a lot of fees, they're able to counterbalance.
See what happens when you have competition?
I know, isn't it a genius thing? You see how this entire thing kind of lines up with each other?
Yeah.
It's almost as if there's a sign from the universe going, "You dumb fucks."
Business capitalism is good. It brings it along. If someone does something you don't like, someone else will come in and fix that problem, and everyone will go to that.
My personal favorite is I've spent hours and hours on the phone with creators, so has the Patreon team. Your feedback has been crystal clear. The new payment system disproportionately impacts the $1 to $2 patrons. No fucking shit.
Yeah.
So, at what point did you forget that there were $1 and $2 Patreons? Because if you were doing these tests for weeks, if not months, you should have known that it would have affected.
Yeah.
So either you're lying, or you didn't actually do the research.
No, they didn't actually do the research. Why would they do that?
By the way, can I put permission to put my tinfoil hat on?
Go ahead.
You do.
Okay. Hang on. Okay. What if this is just them saving face for now and finding another nefarious way to push this through while it's out of the spotlight?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, I think that might be what they're doing because they did say clearly they're gonna find a way to get past the issues they had, aka make more fucking money.
Well, so if they do what Maker did and make their own page on their own account, they may actually find that they'll be able to make up what they're missing. You know. Yeah.
You mean that Patreon has its own Patreon?
Yes. If they have that, they may actually, counterbalance the loss of money that they're wanting to try and... Because when you did the math on the bullshit they were pulling, yeah, they were charging creators less, but they were charging patrons like, you're God. They were charging us more than they were even charging the creators.
I believe it was 2.9% for the actual service, for the actual transaction, and then 35 cents per transaction. So it ended up being like $1.38 if you had a $1 patron, times 10 if you supported 10 creators. You're paying an extra $3.80. So you either have to pay the extra, or you have to bump up almost 4 people that you support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which people have already done, by the way, or they've left it entirely and replaced with something completely new.
Yep.
So, I'm sorry, but sorry, not sorry, Patreon. You did this too lately, you made a bad decision, and you thought your fan base or your users were dumber than you thought they were. Better luck next time.
We did math, and none of us, have it make you, accelerate at it. We may fuck up in other places, but we look at the math numbers and we go, wow, we're not that stupid.
Yeah. Don't they realize that we have weaponized autism?
No, they don't realize that.
No, I think they forgot about 4chan, and I think they forgot about the few of us who actually have, like, a assload of just... I'm sorry, we are a level of special ed fuckers who see math coming and going,
well, we have no girlfriend, but we have lots of math.
Oh god, I think Fists over on Twitter kind of like their weaponized autism kind of like triggered out.
I feel like Twitch. I think they started doing numbers and math.
Oh, I would hope so.
I don't know. I see letters and numbers, and it's an incohesive sentence. So incohesive, incoherent, whatever. Leave me alone. I don't English good.
I only English good when I need to.
Oh god.
All right. So, where are we?
I don't know anymore.
With all the autism jokes,
Are you already lost already? I've been lost for a while. We'll just move on to the next one.
I was going to say, speaking of people spurging out, there's people getting banned off of Steam.
Yeah.
You know,
new game known as you must be 18 or older to enter is banned from Steam.
Oh my god. Okay, do you have to be older?
This is something that you and I have already talked about, Nemo, so this is something...
Yes, so I'm kind of going to repeat myself, so I want someone else to do this, because otherwise it's just going to sound...
Okay, I'm going to read the first paragraph. An indie game focused on the unique terror of trying to stealthily watch porn on dial-up internet, called You Must Be 18 or Older to Enter, has been banned from Steam as reported by Rock Paper Shock. Why? No, why? No, fuck you assholes. You anti-gamer gators, fucking all. Anyways, before the era of bountiful data erotica, and it goes back to having plenty of internet access in order to do this. Those of us lucky enough to have a computer and an internet connection would have to sneak to the family computer and look up images, not even video, of our particular preferred partners. People who grew up in the late 90s were fortunate enough to at least get decent quality JPEG images, but those that came before us had to make with the tantalizing ASCII art. Jesus Christ.
Okay, for some reason I feel that this is just a level of I would have loved this game and probably died laughing as I did, as I was one of those special motherfuckers who found a porn site just on the concept of I mistyped the name of a toy company.
Okay, for those who don't remember the old what is it, video format, at least the pictures.
God. Well, the internet before it was like the super fast highway that it is now.
Yeah, when it was dial-up, and when you used the internet, you consumed a phone.
And not just that, but it took about 4 hours to jerk off.
Yeah.
Shit, 4 hours? You must have had some good buffering going, sir.
See, I remember growing up.
That was when that 56 came out.
I remember growing up, and yeah, we only had one. It wasn't until I got into high school that I had my own computer in my own room when we could actually afford it. But we did have one computer, and it was out in the family room where everybody could access it, and anybody could look over your shoulder at any given time. Now, at some point, now I don't know if you guys know what a Florida room is, and it's not just because it's Florida. It's basically like there's a difference between having a family room and a living room, and a Florida room is just like a separate, or in some places it's called a sunroom. Basically, it's like the room that you would have set aside for guests, where there's like the most amount of light coming in, the most welcoming room in the house, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We were basically using our Florida room for storage, but there was a little section in the Florida room that we had eventually moved the computer into, and there are nights that I remember that my dad would be up late with the door closed to the family room. It's like, there's a reason why it was moved into there.
Well, the ASC2 arts, the digitalized art was very questionable for some.
The album before it was like good. Like, I think the best way to get art on a page was like Microsoft Paint. I think was the best option you had.
Yeah, Microsoft Paint was the best option to have. Yes.
Other than that, you were just genuinely looking at sprite pictures doing things, or a sprite picture and you're sitting there going, you have to tilt your head 8 ways to Sunday to figure out that's what it is.
But you know what? You could just let your imagination run wild at that point.
Yeah.
Pretty much, that's the whole idea. That's it. It was a beautiful thing back in the day.
But here's another thing that, you know, the pros of using dial-up did, is they try to memorize that pixelated image and use it later for when they were alone.
Well, for those of you, yes, it's sad that Steam banned it.
Because they viewed it as no better than porn.
How?
But here's the thing. But wait, they have porn video games on Steam. I know because I own 3 of them.
Yeah, I know. I kind of figured you would.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about Honeypot?
I'm talking about Honeypie. I'm talking about Material Girl.
No. Here's the difference. Here's the difference. I understand what you're saying. I really do understand what you're saying. But at least with Honeypot, it is heavily suggested porn, but you're not actually doing or really seeing anything. Technically, you're not doing the same in this one either, but this one hits a little too close to home.
A fairy princess fucks a washing machine.
What game is this?
Honeypot.
I have not heard this game, but I have found other games on Steam that
suggestive?
Suggestive my asshole. Let's just say, suggestion is not part of it.
Yeah, well, how about a game called like Shower with Daddy?
Oh. Well,
oh my lord! Where in God's green earth do you find that?
Thing.
The entire concept of the game is you as a young boy, butt naked, have to find your dad in a shower and amongst other men.
You know what? I'm not even gonna touch that.
Yeah, but that's acceptable. That's totally acceptable. But you must be 18 or older. Got banned.
But regardless of that, though that they may not be no longer available on Steam, you might find them on was it Elo and Game Jolt.
Yeah, you could definitely find it on itch.io and Game Jolt. And so guess what I might be doing tomorrow, because it's free to play.
Oh well, if you can do that, or you can throw them a couple of bucks, for a game.
You know, I'm gonna throw them a couple of bucks when I get off.
Your choice. You don't have to. It's a free game, but I know Game Jolt they give you that.
I want to be fair. I want to play it, and if it tantalizes my jimmies, I mean my gaming jimmies.
If you want, you can actually go to YouTube. There's a few Let players who have actually played the game. It's a very unique setup for the game because they put it on almost like the same aspect as the FNAF type horror game.
Apparently, this thing has won a few awards.
Yes, it has.
Media Choice Award of IndieCade 2016. Meaningful play, which makes me wonder: is there more of a story to this?
There is way more to the story than what you think there is. Because
honorable mention: Indie Games Festival 2017, Slam Dance Dig 2016, QG Con 2017 official select, South by Southwest inaugural student showcase. Holy crap!
Yeah, it's a very huge game that on an indie basis has won a lot of different awards based off of the narrative or the interaction that you have as being the player to pick all these different porn sites or these different porn related activities. And there's a subplot narrative of, well, you've got to stop playing the game technically and then look back to make sure that your parents are not there or somebody's not watching or whatever, so there's no interruption. And then for each different site location you go into, you get a different narrative. You get something that's mixed emotions or these feelings. You get a different form of feeling while looking at this.
Okay, so
is this normal?
I might have to label this as 18 plus when I actually as mature when I actually play it.
NSFW.
Yeah.
Really? Not safe for fucking work?
Yeah. Watch your anagram, sir.
Speaking of anagrams, Steam purges the peppy emotion emoticons after creator files copyright claim.
No, okay, Matt Furry, I can't take you seriously anymore. No, sorry, dude, you're pissing me off. piss me off, sir.
Yeah, well... Yeah, well, you know, he's trying to reclaim something that he abandoned a long time ago.
Yeah, he killed Pepe. He killed Pepe, but the internet wouldn't let him die. So then it's like, nope.
And then Pepe risen 3 days later, and everyone recognized him for who he was because he was president of Pakistan.
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, there will be a Bible written on.
Not just that, but he's also associated with the alt-right. So now he's no better than a Nazi.
Yeah, the first.
Just like everything's not better than a Nazi.
First paragraph.
Everything that isn't like literally everything except for a Nazi is no better than a Nazi.
Yeah, regardless.
If, for some godforsaken reason, you've been trying to collect every achievement in Emoticon featuring Pepe the awful mean frog on Steam, I've got some bad news for you. Many of them are gone. Yesterday, Steam users began to notice something odd. According to a thread on the Steam subreddit, I'm sorry, something's wrong with my tongue tonight. Pepe Emocons began disappearing from inventories and profile showcase boxes. The listings were still there, but the imagery was invisible. Before long, icons stopped showing up in chats and posts as well. Now, Pepe images that players could earn by playing games such as Fergus the Fly and, tellingly, Make America Great Again, the Trump presidency, have been replaced.
That's the game you gotta play.
have been replaced with a simple message. Emocon art currently unavailable due to DMC takedown notice submitted on behalf of Matt Furry. This does not affect, later on in the article they say this does not affect user uploaded, like when they're using in chats or whatnot, but still.
Can I point out who the actual writer for this article is?
Somebody over at Kotaku who's butthurt. Yeah, Nathan Grayson, of course!
Of course, Nathan Grayson, that fuckhead. By the way,
the man who time forgot because he ended up fucking somebody who had no talent, and gave her praise. Thank you, Nathan.
And also he had a press conference where he was talking about how not masculinity. Sorry, what was it? Testosterone is more toxic than smoking.
Okay. My cat is sneezing every time we mention Nathan's name.
I know. This is a guy who's got man fur on his fucking chin.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for his fucking testosterone, that shit would not be there.
Well, as I said, he's a guy that said testosterone is more toxic than smoking. Apparently.
Yeah, well, apparently. So that's a whole different conversation that you and I can cover later. But
of course.
Pepe.
Oh, I love the last paragraph. Still, tough times for alt-right tough guys who are now throwing comment temper tantrums about, quote, snowflakes. Being somebody made it so that they couldn't use a cartoon frog is an incredibly specific way. Feels bad, man.
Well, how about they leave my president alone? I'm a Kyrgyzstani native. I don't appreciate them banning my president.
No. He's not a president. He's your god.
Yes, he's a god. Which means he's...
Can't he be both?
No. Well, no. Which means that, if anti-Semitism is being against Jewish, we gotta come up with something that would be like anti-blank against those who worship Kek.
Anti-Pepeism? I don't know. Yeah. Anti-Kekism.
Yeah, anti-Kekism.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kekism.
Yeah. I'm gonna kick your teeth in, you anti-Kekite bastard.
You guys had your Keke war.
Yes, we will have our Keke war.
It would be the Kek Crusades. It would be the Keksades.
We'll move on to the delay. Apparently the Ataribox is now on delay.
Oh.
I didn't even know this was a thing. Now,
this was a thing.
No. Now, is it just like the mini Nintendo, the mini Super Nintendo, and the mini Sega?
No, they want to. No. What they want to do is something bigger than that. This will be the same idea as a Steam box for the Atari.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool. They implemented the wood grain on it too.
Yes, they kept all the actual look of the original classic Atari, especially the 2600 or the 5200. And what they've done is they put in the computerized components that you would for the minis, but instead of playing the actual ROM, you're actually playing the old cartridge game back in the day, which they want to do to actually plug pretty much built into the system for one aspect that they were talking about. The other is to have an open source so that other creators of games and whatnot would have an easy access to have a console straight out of the box. The community would be able to build their own game or games and have it available for not only the Steam but for the Ataribox.
Interesting.
It's an interesting concept. There's a lot that's going to it.
I can see why it's being delayed now. It seems a lot bigger than...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a Gabe in the Twitch chat. You're late to the party, son.
Dear God, you're late and you're the moderator. Fuck.
A nice job, Gabe.
Hey, he's the moderator? What?
Yeah, he's a moderator. I'm gonna have to demote him.
Why is Draco not a moderator?
I thought Draco was a moderator. I moved him up. You should be. You should. You wait. You have a.
I don't pay attention.
No, wait. I can see why. Let's fix you.
You want to fix Draco, but then he can't have any Draco babies.
That's true, but I can...
You don't want me to have children. This results in me teaching them how to push the red button.
Yeah, no. Anywho.
They will sneak into the White House and push the red button.
Well, speaking of babies and challenges...
Uh-oh.
This one is my personal favorite. I have to go with this one. Japanese dad challenges daughter's boyfriend to a video game grudge match. Gets kicked out of house.
That's so beautiful.
Oh, other way around, sir.
He's not fit to...
The boyfriend gets kicked out with the special quote is, he is not fit to be my daughter's boyfriend.
If he cannot beat me as Ryu, then he is not worthy of my...
The first time a father meets his daughter's boyfriend is a complicated moment. After years of enjoying a position as her archetype of dependable masculinity and gently manly gallantry, he has to come to terms with the fact that she's found someone else to fill the roles. Some fathers respond to this with the emotional balance and security befitting a man who is old enough to have children. Others, though, like Japanese Twitter user Boopa Stones, excuse me, I'm sorry, have a somewhat less mature way of sorting through their feelings. His daughter, who is in junior high, and said daughter has a special guy in her life. She recently brought him over to the house to meet her family, prompting Boopa Stone to send out a string of tweets, starting with one sent just before 6 p.m. last Monday. My daughter just introduced her boyfriend to us. No problem so far, but it turns out that he and his daughter's boyfriend have a common interest, video games. Specifically, they both enjoy fighting games, including the long-running Guilty Gear series.
Oh, there you go. That's the game series to fight over.
By their very nature, though, fighting games are all about competition, and Boopa Stone's competitive juices were soon flowing like a raging river. This kid says he wants to take me on a Guilty Gear, so I'm going to teach him a lesson. I'm hiding out in the bathroom right now, but I'm totally going to show him what's what. And gamers like him who use the character Slayer are shits. So I'm not going to let him get away with that. So less than half an hour after Boopa Stone's first tweet, he and his boyfriend grabbed controllers and crossed digital swords. The two decided to see who would rack up 10 wins first.
Wins.
Wow.
And while Boopa Stone, so tweets, shows he can talk the talk as he defeats his young adversary, and sends out a string of victory tweets, starting at 8:11.
10-6. It's over. We're done here.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I've been playing Guilty Gear since the first game in the series, released in 1998. No way was I going to get defeated by a junior high school's kid.
I've defeated him. He's not fit to be my daughter's boyfriend.
Daughter's boyfriend. But apparently Dad gloats was a little too much for the rest of the family to handle. And when dinner time rolled around. By the way, no one made anything for me to eat.
I got kicked out of the house, so I'm going to buy some cigarettes and rice bowls. I'm the worst in the family at Guilty Gear.
Wow.
And this wet behind the ears kid can't
too?
even beat me. He should be allowed in our house. So he's basically saying, I'm the worst of all the people in my family to play this game, and if this kid can't beat me, why should he be here?
Yep.
Later on, they said they finally let me back in, but there's still no dinner for me.
Wow.
Oh, God.
That's what happens when you let your ego consume.
Well, see, no, here's it.
Yeah,
he was a sore winner. Let's be honest. He was a sore winner.
Yeah.
They do exist, but unfortunately,
I used to be that way.
he proved a point, because this goes back to the classic boy versus father situation. Yeah, because back in the day, when a young boy meets the dad of the girl that he's interested in, the dad pretty much threatens his life.
Yeah. And this way he did it by video games. It's much more progressive if you think about it.
Very much so. I mean, he didn't have to take him to a special den somewhere where there's a mounted lion or something, or he's polishing off a gun
shotgun.
or a sword, or something like that. My daughter's a special person, and as you're sitting there freaking out in cold sweats, trying to figure out, is this guy gonna really kill me?
Oh, it does make you think though. This guy can do it in a video game, and he's the worst. Imagine what he can do in real life.
Usually the guy who sucks the most at video games usually has the most potential to kick your ass.
Usually.
Yeah.
So we got through that massive amount of trash to end with a high note.
I would say that's hilarious. Gives me ideas for the future.
Yeah.
Oh yes, there's always some ideas for the future. And speaking of ideas for the future, Christmas is rolling around, and so is New Year's Eve.
Oh, can we talk about our prize packs?
Hey.
We were going to get there, yes.
Okay, sorry.
But Pen's still singing.
Can I choke her?
No, she's fine. She can do that. Anywho, so as we're getting closer to the end, I want to do something that's a little bit different, and I'm hoping that you guys will agree to this. One, we would like to give out some of the prize packs before the end of season, as well as
we have prize packs?
probably yes, we have prize packs, as well as probably do a Space Theater 3000 for the next 2 episodes.
Ooh.
So the idea is, ladies and gentlemen, who are probably listening to me,
Somebody's phone is dying.
Yeah, Draco, your phone is dying. The idea is, sir, we're going to be watching a couple of movies for the next 2 episodes, as well as giving out prizes for the best or worst comments for said movies.
What are we going to watch?
Right?
What are we going to watch?
Well, the first one I want to do is The Room.
Yes. No, be excited. It is amazing.
Oh, it's one of the amazing tragedies that there is. It's a laugh riot, and it would bring out as much and as many different unusual comments.
Yes.
The other one,
me,
I'm not 100% sure that's going to be decided because I want to probably focus on something Christmas related. We're either going to do the room first and then follow that up with something for New Year's Eve, or the other way around.
Interesting.
So, do you guys have any movies that you want to see?
Well, I'm thinking because of it's the season, we should pick a special Christmas movie. I don't know which one yet.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
No.
Why not?
But
It is a Disney property after all.
Yeah.
No, I'm not against that, right? And then we can put that on the burner. But I recommend if we're gonna do the room, we also need to do an equally horrible Christmas, like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, something like that.
Oh, wait. Do you mean the stop motion animation?
Which one?
That's not a horrible one. Shut up. Get out.
Dude,
it is not. Shut up. No, it is.
Have you seen how bad?
No. Well, okay. If we're gonna watch the Rudolph one, then we also have to watch the New Year one too as we get to the New Year.
Oh yeah. Okay. How about this? I want to vote and put on the Christmas Story onto the docket.
Okay. I've actually. I'm sorry. I've never actually seen A Christmas Story.
Ooh.
Okay. You know what? Then that makes it. I think you've made the choice for us.
Okay.
Okay, so
I've heard the memes, I've heard all of the other stuff. I've just never actually sat down and watched it.
Alright, so basically we'll be doing the Christmas Story for the next Gator and Frog before Christmas, and then after that, on I think it's the 29th, we'll be doing The Room. Shut up, Gabe. Okay. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing for the next two, because of the factor that we're getting close to the end of year, and Gabe says never. I want to have some fun and just, bullshit. I want to avoid what stupid shit that's happening on the interwebs at the moment.
And we know some stupid shit's going to come to us towards the end of Christmas.
It's always
but I want to have some fun.
I think for the next stream, I'm going to actually put little lights around the thing and a little snowflake glyph.
I was going to put a bullseye on it with Rudolph written dead center.
No reindeer with red shiny noses here?
No, probably reindeer poop off the corner somewhere. Some hosieries over on the other side, the basics. Oh, okay, with that note, do we have anything else we want to say before we go away?
Well, we probably should chill out our channels like we normally do.
Well, I was going to do, before we do that, how about we explain how people might be able to win these games other than
just... I thought I just did. Maybe through the course of watching the movie with us. Through the course of watching the movie with us, you guys are going to be able to have the opportunity to make the best or worst comment. Whoever makes the best or worst comment will get an opportunity for a
Why not best and worst?
Okay, that's a good way to do it.
That's...
You said best or worst.
Probably...
Language is important.
I know language is important. I will also say yes and or.
Okay. Yeah, as it is, there is going to be about... Let me just give an idea of how big it is. We've got about 12 games at the moment to give away. We're probably going to add more. And I'm going to add in an even more generous thing. I'm going to throw in a $50 Steam voucher.
There we go. $50.
It's the gift of giving. It's the season 2 of the Holly Jolly. Even though I'm Jewish, I don't give a fuck. Commercialism at its finest.
It is about commercialism, sirs and man.
Hey, it's when Santa died for our sins.
It was a red Christmas that year.
So we're gonna be picking our rest of the
Draco, why don't you go first?
Well, I mean, you can find me on Gab at Draconath.
No, you can't find him. You find you on Gab.
No.
No, Gab is right over there. In the chat.
That's Gabe, not Gab. He means Gab.ai.
G-A-B.
Rogue,
Sorry, I'll just go over here in the corner.
You can find me on Twitter under Draconath. You can find me on Gab under Draconath. YouTube under Draconath Firesoul.
So just type in Draconath.
pretty much, you can find me. I think I'm like the only person on the internet with that name.
For now.
Yeah.
Until you get the Draconath Soulfire 1 and Soulfire 2 and Soulfire 3.
Oh, yeah.
And then I will smite.
Okay, so Mr. Nemo, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube with Nemo Plays. That's really the main place I'm doing videos at the moment. I think I'm going to start doing a couple, like, other ones on Twitch where I just play as in, not, like, games that will never end, like Overwatch and those types. And right now working on my series, which is going to be called See You Next Tuesday, and it's going to be the biggest cunts on Overwatch. Going to upload that once a week.
You know what? I'm going to be getting Overwatch soon, so I'll probably be one of those cunts.
Yes. Yeah. I'll also say, changing my thing a little bit, I'm going to have recorded videos and live stream videos on my channel. My recorded ones are going to be not retro. My live stream ones are always going to be retro games.
Retro.
Something's learned from his previous mistakes, I presume, or something new.
Yes.
As for myself, you will find me at Robert Kunitz. Dare to spell my last name, or you can type in Canadian Rogue or the Canadian Rogue, and you'll find me onto the interweb. At the moment, I have nothing going on except for GNF and doing whatever else I do on the side. I'm thinking on redoing my channel so it focuses mostly on indies and survival-based games. Chances are I'm going to be doing either live streams or recorded, or both. I haven't really figured that out, but I want to do that in the beginning of the new year. And we leave it with the hostess with the mostest.
Or the hostess with the bloatest. I don't know what I was trying to do there anyways. You can find me, if you're on YouTube watching this, obviously you're already on my channel. Thank you for being here. You can also find me on Twitch /PeninaChan. You can basically practically find me anywhere with an @ or /PeninaChan. So I'm on, as I just mentioned, Twitch, on Twitter, until, you know, maybe I get kicked off tomorrow, who knows. I'm also on Gab, I'm also on Minds.
Cool.
And I don't know yet if I'm going to restructure my channel at all. I still have some Kingdom Hearts videos that I still need to upload. I still have to start my Undertale series. And I still want to do, like, talk shows. I've actually been collaborating with Antoine again on the behind the scenes to see about having another 2 to 3 hour live stream about a topic that most likely on the something else in regards to net neutrality, but the stupidity of it will just make you rage for hours.
Before we go, I just want to ask one thing to Canadian. Are we going to start hinting?
We are going to be starting next year, like I said before.
No, I know, but how much are we going to give away?
Well, I was going to give out something currently at the moment, because since Ken's already dropped her bomb, yes, me and Nemo have worked together, as well as I have a few side things with Antoine that he wants to do as well. We'll be focusing on more or less the Red Pill compendium. Basically, it'll be a how-to guide to the Red Pill sphere, which hopefully should be interesting, as well as we'll have some commentary to go with. We already have a mascot, so that should be interesting. Yes. And that hopefully will be starting sometime in the beginning of the new year. We're thinking Thursdays.
Sounds good.
Alright. Yeah. Alrighty. So there's a lot of things that happen. You have a mascot. Yes, Gabe, we have a mascot.
And it's not you at all, so get the fuck off.
Wow.
Okay. With that, no. This is
sorry, I couldn't help it.
Network.
I give no fucks.
Correct. The one location that gives no fucks. If you want to catch us further or get more details, go to gatorinfrog.com.
Yes, I totally sang that shit, Gabe.
All right. With that note, for Draconath, who likes clicking, for Nemo, who is the fish, and for Pen, who's giving out the smack on game, I am Rogue. Giving pretty much saying goodbye. Have a good holiday. We'll see you next time. Hopefully with the the movie that will be there. With that, I bid you all adieu.
To you.
Let's get the fuck out.